Here we are. We'll do it again. Nothing can stop me. Ain't nothing gonna break me down. Am I working now? Can you hear me now? Are we? All right, there you go. I don't know what happened, but I'm the stream that won't be stopped. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. Sorry about that. But one day we'll laugh about it and we'll have a good time. That's the beauty of the Earlverse. We adapt, we compromise. I don't have an assistant, a producer. I have myself. This is the little stream that could. And I do my best. And sometimes, Lance, my best isn't good enough. Now the picture looks pretty good. Take two. Not sure what happened. Lois is sleeping right now, so she's a lousy assistant. Let me tell you that much. But we'll go to about what time is it? The 5:30 hour. So we'll do a 30-minute continuation stream, let's call it. And that happened the other night for the first time in a long time. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but such is life in the Earlverse. I'm a one-man army up in here. So hopefully that does not happen again. Although I do find it strange that it happened randomly. Once again for the second time in about 2 weeks. Whereas the last month it hasn't. 100%. I'm a soldier. I won't give up. This is the little stream that could. And I will do my very best always to be entertaining to the warriors. So, sorry about that. Sometimes it is what it is. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know what that was. I mean, my Wi-Fi is at a peak of what it does. Everything is plugged in. I mean, my computer's pretty new. It's only about a 2-year-old iMac, so the cable's new. So I don't know exactly what happened, but such is life in the streaming world. Maybe someone from the Dabbleverse is taking me out. My lines might be compromised to a saboteur. But hopefully we've got that issue corrected. Maybe before I do the next stream tomorrow, I'll do a systems check beforehand. But I appreciate you guys coming back. I think we lost a few people, but I get it. It just is what it is. So, we were talking in the other stream a little bit of wrestling. I was doing Hart Bachner impressions. Ellis from Die Hard. Not too much shit talking. I will be at Hackamania. I did not meet Truman Capote, Dr. Nova. Um, I mean, you guys can always feel free to let me know what's going on your end. I mean, I think a lot of times it might be on your end, like, so if you because people seem to, when they refresh their computer, it works, but, Staggy in the house, always contributing with a pew, sometimes it's just, I don't know, I mean, I can't blame the no sound thing on Wi-Fi. I mean, I checked my system preferences before I started, and it was, good to go. So, I mean, Virgil's out of control, but I am sad that he died. I did cry a little bit because I had just woken up to all these text messages. These wrestlers live a hard fucking life, man. And, you got to figure that he was taking chair shots and bumps for the last 40 years of his life. Piper probably for 50 years. I mean, it's not really a surprise that these guys, um, you know, end up like they do. I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, random guy. I mean, Loredana, um, Roddy, Virgil, Brody. I think there was one more. I'm trying to think. I'm going to guess it was a pro wrestler. Um, or you can really go, what's more, the amount of people who have died on my podcast, or the number of guests that I've slept with. Pew! Hey, you got to get the interview somehow. Boing. Just kidding. Just kidding. I know. I saw Hogan on his son's DUI arrest on the body cam, and he's like got like a Moses walking stick. Yeah, I mean, I cried when Piper died. We were getting closer, but just but I mean, what can you do? Like I said, I mean, you got to figure Piper was learning from Stu Hart when he was like 15, so he died at 61. So let's say for at least 45 years, he was taking chair shots and bumps and back injuries and neck injuries. Like the fact that he made it to 61 is probably a miracle. Yeah, Jake the Snake is, he's another one who's, he was at death's door, but thanks to DDP yoga, that got him going. I mean, Hogan's had like 2 hip replacement surgeries. I mean, Abdullah the Butcher's basically in a wheelchair. Magnum TA's all fucked up. Lex Luger. I mean, when Brian Knobbs is one of the healthier looking wrestlers, man. Yowza. So, I mean, Ric Flair's got, I mean, I hope he goes on, but like, man, he looks pretty rough these days. Um, think of those ECW guys, the punishment that they uh, did. I mean, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, like those guys went hard. Shawn Michaels, but any wrestler from the 80s that's still alive, look at, the Honky Tonk Man, all those guys. The Nasty Boys look pretty good, to be honest with you. Uh, Knobs and Sags. I mean, when I saw him at the Flair Roast 2 years ago, I mean, Bret Hart looks a little old, but he's still walking. I mean, when I saw Flair at Motorhead's 30th anniversary show, he was limping, and that was like 20 years ago. So you can imagine he was like my age. I mean, Sting looks pretty good. Um, but these guys, they go hard in the paint. You look at like Rick Rude dying. I think Rick Rude died at 41. I mean, literally the um, definition of health. Yeah, I mean, Mick Foley, I mean, the great Kabuki, he might be in Japan maybe, or he might be dead. Like, anyone who was in world class championship wrestling, I mean, look at a lot of those guys dead. Kamala dead, Ultimate Warrior dead. I mean, I'd love to see Iceman King Parsons, what shape he ended up in. Um, yeah, I mean, I sat next to Roddy Piper at the premiere of it, and I didn't know him yet, and I could tell that it was affecting him. These guys, we all make fun of Virgil, but like Virgil basically died broke. He had to do these wrestling conventions and wacky, appearances just to make a few bucks. Chris Adams was a drunk. Um, then you take like the super big guys like Earthquake, Tugboat, Big Boss Man, Kamala. These guys. It's just like it's not. They don't treat their bodies very good. Ben Bones Jones, hello. Um, well, I mean, it's a great saying, but Father Time catches up with everybody. I mean, I'm 55, but in really good shape. But man, there's days I wake up hurting, and I treat my body like a temple. Um, so if I'm hurting, I can imagine guys that party what they feel like. So, um, just oh yeah, I mean, like I can't treat my body any better than I do, and like you know, I mean, I have a bit of a belly now, and like I literally can't work out any more than I do. Um, but it's just what happens. Yeah, Comic Con. That was the picture where it's kind of maybe the most viral meme ever is when Virgil's sitting alone at an autograph booth. Um, well, I mean, I just love that scene. Father Time is undefeated. I mean, you look at the LA Kings, Kopitar, he's even slowing down now. Um, I mean, it's working out's pretty simple. I think I talked about it yesterday. It's really garbage in, garbage out. You know, you can get skinny eating candy bars if you burn the calories. Um, but then you could also gain weight if you're lifting a lot. Muscle weighs more than fat. So like a lot of people lift weights to lose weight, but it's like, and they look the same or even they gain weight. So, well, are you a man or a woman, Juan Santos? You know, I'm not trying to be funny. That could be a guy or a girl's name. I liked Virgil in the WWF. In WCW, he was just a fucking stoolie. Man, 5'7", 130. I mean, that's depending on what you do. I mean, like if you were a jockey, I'd say you were fat. Just kidding. 6'2", 200, that's about right. Um, yeah, I mean, it's like there's so many simple things you can do working out. Like a lot of people do sit-ups thinking it's going to make their waistline skinnier, but all sit-ups do is define the muscles under the fat. It doesn't really get rid of fat. So it's just something as simple as that. Like, um, that people don't really correlate with, it's like squats. Squats, oh, I want to make my ass smaller or my ass tighter, but squats are such an amazing exercise. They're like the push-ups for the lower body that they will give you a bigger ass. But they do though, because they actually expand your muscle, your stomach 6'6", 260. How old are you? I used to be a certified fitness trainer, so don't take anything I say as medical advice, but um, and 6'6", 260. You could be skinny for that height. 55. I mean, I'm 55 too. I mean, can I ask what line of work you're in? Kip Smith, a moderator in the Earlverse. I mean, 260 seems a bit heavy, but like if you were a pro football player, I know you're not at 55, but you'd be considered skinny. 6'6", 260. If you were a football player, they would tell you to gain weight. So it's all relative in terms of your height, your job. Like look at Manute Bol. I think Manute Bol was like 270 pounds or whatever, but he was 7'6", so he looked anorexic. So was he underweight or overweight? Giant Gonzalez, I think, in WCW, he was underweight. I think he was like 220, but he was 7'8", and then he got bigger, and then his body looked semi-normal. I'm higher a long time. What up, Daniel? What up? What up? I mean, defensive end type body for sure. Yeah, 6'6", 260 would be a linebacker, in today's NFL. Oh, okay. Like without seeing you, I mean, I would say 260 sounds a little heavy. But I'm big boned, so I carry a lot more than most people my height. Um, so like I'm right now, I'm about 6'1", maybe 6'1 and a half, 200. I've been as low as 190. Because I literally work out every day. So, but I know guys my height who are 170, and I know guys my height who are 230. So, it's, it depends on your genetics, your metabolism. How hard did you get when Sting came down from the rafters? Jordan, the Lion, the King is in the chat stream, whatever you want to call it. I squirted all over my keyboard. And the crazy thing was my keyboard was nowhere near me. Boing. What size hat do I wear? Big. Real big, brother. My favorite lady wrestler. I don't really have one to be honest. What am I? Elmer Fudd? I'll be. But I am excited for Mercedes Moné debuting, I believe, March 13th. So a week from this Wednesday, and what might be AEW's biggest dynamite ever. So for those of you wondering, I'm 50-50 on going to AEW Revolution. Some good matches on this card. How is Jay White not on this card? I mean, what are they doing with Jay White, putting him in 12-man tag matches? I mean, OOC. Sting and Darby Allin are wrestling the Young Bucks. And there's going to be a swerve at the end. So it's going to be a good one. That's Revolution. Dark Hour starts at 4 p.m. with my good buddy, RJ City, and the lovely Renee Paquette. And then Dark Side of the Ring is next week as well. I believe the first episode is on the 5th, next Tuesday. And it is the great John Tenta, a.k.a. Earthquake. Now, John Tenta was a legit sumo wrestler, American sumo wrestler. And so I hope they go into the match with the guy in Japan who tried to shoot wrestle him in the middle of a match because he got frustrated he couldn't fuck around with the American. American sumo people are not well liked in Japan. No, well, I mean, Kip, he's 64 years old, so I don't think that he can really wrestle alone anymore for longer than say 5 to 7 minutes. Like otherwise, I say, well, put him up against Will Osprey and have Osprey beat the shit out of him and get the heat. But I don't think Sting could keep up with Osprey or Omega or people like that. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, we got to remember Sting is 64 years old. I mean, next year he'll be literally a legal senior citizen. Um, I mean, Flair when he wrestled this last match was 73 years old. Um, so I just don't. Yeah, code. Yeah, that's Stagwar. I mean, that's a great. There's a really good. I think it's about a 30-minute documentary with Koji Katao. I hope I'm saying that right. Where he tried to like wrestle for real against John Tenta, and you can hear John Tenta. The camera picked up or the microphone picked up John Tenta going, "What the fuck are you doing? This is pro wrestling." So I think Koji went into business for himself, and he tried to put Earthquake into a real life arm bar, and like Tenta got out of it pretty fast. He was mad. That is maybe one of the most scariest sights I've ever seen. A angry John Tenta. So I'm looking forward to that. I know they have some other episodes with like Brutus Beefcake and stuff like that. Still, I wish they had an episode on at least Kamala, or you could do one, say, on like how black wrestlers were treated, back in the day, which, um, let's be honest, was not um, done very well. Yes, the Dino Bravo. What was it? Anyone that could beat him arm wrestling, or anyone that could sit on him while he did a push up, gonna get any cash, King? No, probably not. Not. I'm asexual right now, Doctor Chow. I've gotten enough to last a lifetime. So no, I'm just kidding. Oh, I agree, Doctor Nova. I mean, I mean, the Iron Claw, and I've said it before, and I don't want to bore people with my review of the Iron Claw again. I gave it 2 ratings. I said it's an 8.5 out of 10 if you don't know the story and you just walk in, you're a Zac Efron fan or whatever, and then I think if you know the story like I do, it's a 7 out of 10. It's still a very good movie. I mean, I listen. All the actors are great actors, but they were way too small to play the Von Erich family. I mean, the Von Erichs were fucking big dudes. And, I would say that Zach and Jeremy, uh, they're not big guys. Although, their bodies looked very impressive. It was just like it just to me it wasn't believable because I knew how big Carrie and the other Von Erich brothers were. So and like they just left out certain things. They made it seem like the Von Erichs only wrestled the Freebirds and Ric Flair. I mean, Bruiser Brody was okay. I mean, he looked like him, but he didn't act like him. I can almost say the same thing about Harley Race. I mean, I think the best guy who looked like and acted like, the wrestler he was portraying was the Hollywood hunk, Ryan Nemeth, playing Gino Hernandez. I thought, I was like, okay, this looks pretty good. But he was not in it very much. And, they went in about the Von Erich family curse was because um, the dad changed his name, but maybe the family curse was because Fritz von Erich's character in the '60s was a Nazi. Um, yeah, I mean, like, I mean, some of my Twitter pics. If you look at the picture of me and Hulk Hogan, like, notice everything's bigger on Hulk Hogan, but my head's bigger than his. The fuck out of here. Yeah, I mean, now you have Matt Damon as an action star with the Bourne Identity movies. And it's like I grew up with Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Jeff Speakman, Seagal, Van Damme, Carl Weathers, not John Krasinski, who I will be honest, I loved him in the Amazon show Jack Ryan. But yeah, Virgil was a big dude, you know. Well, I mean, I understand you want to cater to the one brother who's actually still alive, but the fact that fucking they just left out Chris Von Erich's suicide, who I find, to be honest with you, the more believable and the sadder, if you will, of the suicides. He literally killed himself because he didn't look like his brothers. Like, to me, the director said, "Well, we didn't want any more sadness in the movie," and it's like, but that's part of the story. Like, the one brother who wasn't really a wrestler kills himself because he didn't look like his brothers. So, um, you know, unfortunately, but the movie did good at the box office. I mean, it didn't maybe quite do as well as I thought it would. I thought, oh, this could be an Oscar nomination for Efron. And they really sanitized the story overall. I mean, the Von Erichs in Texas were fucking maniacs, man. They were like the Rolling Stones of world-class championship wrestling. So, and they left out. I'm not saying you make it a wrestling documentary. Like, I understand it's the story of human tragedy, but I would have loved to see maybe Kamala in it. He had a great feud with Kerry Von Erich. Abdullah the Butcher had a great feud with Kerry Von Erich. And Kerry, I always thought, was the real star of the family, not Kevin. But once again, Kevin's the only one alive, so I get it. Um, you know, Chris also shot himself after. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they left that part out of the movie. Dr. Chow Mega G, what did you think of the Ric Flair? I thought he was horrible, to be honest with you. Now, I'm sure the guy's a great actor, Dr. Chow, but that he didn't act like Ric Flair, like. And now I will say this: Ric Flair is a very hard. At the '80s, Ric Flair is a very hard character to do, but it's fairly. I don't know if this guy didn't do the research or he thought, well, I'm going to give my own take on what Ric Flair would do. Like, he acted more like Gorgeous George, which Ric Flair was ripping off, but like it just didn't work for me. And like I said, I'm sure the guy's a very good actor, but um, I just would have sat him down and watched Ric Flair, the silver spoon speech, and the one where he's like, Dale Murphy, Atlanta, Georgia, he's a big deal, but he's not the champ. Herschel Walker, for all you black folk out there, he's a real big dude, but he's not the champ. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Lex Luger, Nikita Koloff, all of you, take a look at it. Learn to love it. I just did a better Ric Flair than that guy for free. Uh, like, he was on coke, he was on it. Um, the crowds were great. In real life, I mean, '80s wrestling in that era, like, I tell you, one of the biggest all-time pops I've ever seen. It's 5:20. We'll go for about another 15 minutes. Then I got to go to yoga. Um, and if you're wondering what happened with the first part of the stream, I was having sound issues. I'm going to leave it up out of respect for Mike Johnson's super chat, but sorry about the sound issues. This is part two. So someone had the best. This is not my quote. It's the best YouTube comment I've ever seen, and said that they found traces of blood in Ric Flair's cocaine system. Yes, thank you, Mike Johnson. I don't think you're here right now, but he had a very generous super chat in part one of the stream. We did a little bit of silent streaming in part one. I think my stream was compromised by someone from the Dabbleverse. It's the only thing that makes sense. So, but I thought the actors, I personally thought that they should have switched it where Zac Efron should have played Carrie not nearly as tall as Kerry, but I think facially he looked more like Kerry than Kevin, and I think Jeremy Allen White, I think is his name, should have played Kevin. But I guess Zac Efron technically is the bigger actor, so he was gonna play Kevin. Um, yeah, I mean, Ric Flair, I mean, I was on his roast, but he's probably not, proud of the helicopter moment. Um, so Red Bar teared me to shreds last night, Brack? I did not know that. I think Gary Hart was, um, in the movie briefly. I like Red Bar, but, what am I gonna do? Like, if he doesn't like me, he doesn't like me. I don't beg for people to like me. It's like when the Win by 2 guys were going after me, I was lightly roasting. Um, it didn't really bother me too much. I love James Cameron's Aliens. It's my favorite of the franchise by far. I mean, I do like the first one, but, you know, I, with Yaphet Kotto, Tom Skerritt, but I just love that cast of, Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen. I prefer it. And then, I checked out after that one. I didn't find 3 and 4, and I mean, I just didn't like them. Uh, I mean, I like, Red Bar, but, I don't, um, what am I gonna do if he went after me? I mean, I've always said the Dabbleverse is imploding when you start, and he's not in the Dabbleverse, but, like, the whole world of YouTube streaming is imploding when you're going after me. Like, I'm genuinely well liked by pretty much everyone. Um, and I think I'm known for my honesty and no bullshit, but, I can't, control, you know, people like Red Bar, going after me. I mean, it's part of the, if you stream, it's just, people are going to stream snipe you and talk shit. I'm sure. I would guess, if I were to guess what Red Bar said about me, it would be my low tech background. But what can I do? This is as good as it's going to get right now. So I don't think Red Bar's jealous of me. I could also guess that. But you know, I like Katie Afraidy. Yes, he might be berry jelly, but he is not jelly. Um, well, hold on. The TV just came on. It's out of control here. Um, but I can take criticism pretty easily, to be honest with you. Like I battled Jimmy Carr and K. Trevor Wilson on international television, so I could take a little shit on YouTube streams. And like roast battle, I was really good at deflecting my weakest liability, which was my age, because I was the oldest guy on the show. But so it's not like I act like I have a great technical stream. I don't. That's part of the allure of the stream. It's like we all come here, um, and I've got a neon sign is the most technological aspect of my show. So does it bum me out that Red Bar would tear me to shreds or whatever? Yeah, everyone likes to be liked. Like in this world of streaming, it's like you're looked down upon if you are liked. I like Win by Two. Like, I listen to their show. Um, but I just think, because the Dabbleverse stuff is just so old. I mean, the Ray stuff is old, the Chad stuff is old, saying Kevin's angry, that's old. And Shoeless Cheap or whatever, that's old. And then, the new people who are kind of introduced, into the dabble world, they just don't last long. They just don't because they're not funny enough and they're not interesting enough or engaging. I mean, Perry was, um, old 20 years ago. Now it's archaic. Okay, I don't know. I mean, but I never said I was the next big guy. To be honest with you, like I'm honest about, yeah, the Stuttering John stuff is old. Um, you know, so like, all right, let's make fun of Earl. No one's really talked about him, and like, yeah, yes, I am referring to Dr. Perry Caravello. Um, so, uh, but that's old. Um, hold on here. Um, I'm honest. You know, hey, at least he knows who I am. Um, one more time, if what is okay. Um, Chad Zumach said you sent him pics of you without clothes. I do not. Well, Scary Perry has come in because I think people are running out of ideas to roast people. Oh, hold on here. I'm getting. Um, so like now they're down to me, and I can only imagine what they're saying. Uh, you know, but that's okay. But I don't. I don't take anything too personally, especially when I don't know those guys. Like I don't know Red Bar. Like we've talked a few times, in stream or on Instagram, I guess. And maybe I'm not even talking to him. I could be talking to his wife. And I've talked to the Win by Two guys, just in their stream. Well, I'm just answering a text. Sorry. Uh, I don't mind Red Bar watching me. Like I'm honest about my stream. Like I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not streaming for money. I'm honest about how much I make. I made $700 last month. I think Melton had something on today. Shuli made like $1,250 yesterday. So but $700 that pays my homeowner's dues and a couple new pairs of Jordans. So I'm okay with that. You know, I like doing these streams. Do I wish there was 100 people, 200 people in here, and I'm making hundreds of dollars in super chats or whatever memberships? Yeah, sure. Like it is nice to be paid um, for your time and effort or whatever you want to call it. So stream away, guys. The stream snipe away. You can't hurt me. Um, but like that's funny to me. Red Bar said, "This is our next big guy." I'm clearly not fronting like I'm the next big star of the stream world. I wish I was. I would love to be Shuli and make $1,250. Hold on, I have to register for my yoga class. Uh, Well, I think, a lot of streams just rely on super chats for their worth, you know. It just becomes, well, I make more money than this person, and I make more money than that person, or I have more fans than this person. But here's the thing: there'll always be someone who makes more money than you. So it's really stupid for bragging. Um, you know, like, I'm not rich, but I can walk into a store and buy whatever I want in terms of food and whatnot. Uh, well, I do wish my fan base were bigger. I mean, I'm sure whoever's striping me right now, like, look, he only has 27 people in there, but no one's arguing, no one's name calling. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Hold on. I mean, we got about 5 minutes before I got to go to yoga, but Peter Chicken Man Brennan, $2. Let me hear you holler. Oh, oh. Who dropped more N words at Doc Willis? Ole or Tommy? Hello. Definitely Tommy. Tommy definitely would win that word. I mean, I don't think Doc knew Ole Anderson. I don't think Ole Anderson was a store guy. I think he was more of a J spot guy. Pew! That's a deep cut in the comedy reference world. And hold on, I also have to make sure I'm taping the King game because I will be at yoga while the Kings take on the Vancouver Canucks. This is unprofessional of me to do this, but you know what? Actually, I take that back. They play the Kings at 7 p.m. I will be home by then. So now you can stream snipe me for that. Oh my God, he's taping the Kings game on his stream. Get this guy out of here. I love you guys. And thank you, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, for the $2. You are a legend in the streaming world. And we are a small but mighty stream in here. And I love all of you. I don't panhandle for money in here. Now I'm Jewish. Don't get me wrong. I love the $2. Mike in the first stream, $5. Yesterday Jay Santos $100, and someone before the day before $20. Like I'm building, but I ain't panhandling on here. Stream by stream, we're getting it going. Sorry about that. Sorry about talking about gash. I apologize. I'll be at the Comedy Store this Saturday night, 12:15, the Holtzman spot. Well, listen, money's money, man. Like I said, I've made more money streaming the last month than I did 5 years of the weekly show and roast battle. I made $100. And technically, it wasn't even the weekly show and roast battle. It's when we traveled to La Jolla. So if I take that out and just count the money I made at the Comedy Store doing roast battle every Tuesday night, I made $0 in 5 years of a sold-out show. And this is a freebie. Jeff Ross told me once when I was not complaining, but I was going, this show sold out a lot. Where's the money going? And Jeff waddles up to me and goes, hey, man, roast battle's not about the money. It's about the hang. Coming from the guy who gets all the money, honey. Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Nova. Snake, what are you talking about? Oh, did you, was it a fake super chat? All right, that's all right. It is a fakie. It's all good, dude. I don't hold it against you, Jay Santos. You're a loyal soldier. All right, we got 5 more minutes, and then I have a hard out, 5 minutes. So if you got any last-minute questions, please ask them now or forever hold your peace while I go take Power Flow Yoga at Artha Yoga Studio. Shoot, I'm no fan of the hills have eyes, man. I don't know what that means, Ross. It looks like $100 super chat, Jay Santos. I'll tell you that much. Damn, that's a deep cut, chicken man. I do miss Adam Eagle's punk jacket, the Smiths, and uh, the Morrissey and the Pixies. You got that right, Dr. Nova. Earl is a comedy soldier, and I will always be in it for the fans. That's who I am. Yes, random guy now holds the record for $20 super chat. That's all right, but let's not do that again, Jay Santos, because I believe I gave you the ray gun and 2 songs, Jay Santos. Out of control. You are on a suspended watch list for the moment. I don't have any guests lined up for the podcast, but I'm trying to. I'm trying to get Sean Avery on. We could do a Zoom, and then I could put it on my YouTube page. I'm not paying anyone to be my friend. It's all good, Jay. I'm just fucking around. So, yes, I mean, let's not do fake super chats or whatever, fake memberships. This ain't the Dabbleverse, Jay. I mean, I understand the need to do shtick, but let's keep it cool. Keep it cool. 3 minutes before I must leave the stream, and you guys can wander off to the world of whatever stream you are on, the On Deck Circle. Well, I mean, Rogan is financially paid for a lot of people's lives, so I got nothing but love for Joe. So, he's literally, paying for like 10 people's livelihoods. So I got no problem with Joe. Can you get Doc Willis or Matthew Claybrooks on with Tommy? Is this a real super chat? Now I'm paranoid. I wish I could hold all super chats in the air. Sagwar, $5. Say hi to Patty, please, when you see her. Thank you, Staggy. I appreciate it. Before I go, let me thank the fan funders, the tippers, Peter Chicken Man, Brennan, Staggy Waggy. I appreciate it. Mike from the first stream. Who knows? I might be in such a good mood after yoga. I might come on and do a third stream of the day. I'll keep it real. And no, I'm not doing a third stream for money, honey. I'm doing it because I like talking to the fans. Now, I know Pat Dixon is on tonight at 8 p.m., I believe, my time, so 11 o'clock his time. Check out Pat Dixon. We got Shuley and Melton in the mornings. Since you just paid for that, we'll end the stream with some Predator lines. You set us up, the CIA, the cabinet minister, dropped a cigarette in the meat grinder. Whatever happened to you, Dylan? You used to be somebody I could trust. I woke up. We're all expendable. We're an asset. Deal with it. I want Hawkins' body found. Sweet meters. 5 meters apart. No sound. Billy, get his way out of this hole. There's only one way out here, Major. And that's through that valley through the east. But I wouldn't waste that on a rope-dick dog. Was Louis Anderson the P. Diddy of the story? Are you trying to get me in trouble? All right, I'll leave with that one. Anyone want any of this? Get that stinking shit out of my face. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus, just like me. Hey, strap this on your sore ass, Blaine. That's a real nasty habit you got there. All right, guys. Mike Johnson, thank you very much for the $5 in the previous stream. You guys are good to me. Sorry about the technical sound issues in the first half of the game, but we figured it out. I really don't know what was going on. I was told the mic sounded like I was rubbing on a T-shirt. Everything's plugged in. The settings were correct. The Wi-Fi was good. So, I don't know what to say other than I can't say I apologize. I mean, I'm sorry it happened, but it's kind of out of my hands. So I'm off to yoga. Hope you guys are well. Thank you for watching. And Earl Skakel over and out.